Hi everyone, it's psychic medium Jordan Johnson from JoJoEmpathic.com, and today I have a really good video for you. It is on soulmates. I'm going to break down the different types of soul contracts that we have with each other so that you can have a better understanding of your relationships from a spiritual perspective. Please like this video, subscribe for more content. I first want to start by saying in the psychic community, one of our number one questions we receive is about love. Is he the one? Is she the one? Why isn't this working out? What do I do about my partner? So we need to be educated as a collective on something that I would call sacred agreements. Okay, so again, like this video, drop a comment with any questions that you have. And I always go over the comments and I'm open to creating more content based on your feedback. Okay, so share this video with someone, your friends, your family that are always talking about love partners, that are going through relationship struggles, because this is going to be super helpful. Okay, so get a pen and paper, something to drink, and enjoy this episode. I'm going to break down soulmates as quickly as I can for a quick video. I do have another video that's more in depth on soulmates. I'll leave in the description box for you if you want to check out that video too. But in this video, I'm not going to give you the fluff. I'm not going to give you the roses. I'm going to give you the revelation you need in order to have flow and harmony in your relationship. So let's break this down. Soulmates. There's two main types of soulmates. Every mystic, psychic medium, or spiritual teacher may say something different. If you're drawn to my content, I always encourage spiritual sovereignty, meaning you're here as a unique expression of source, here to give your perspective, your definition of what everything in life and reality is, what the dimensions are, what's happening on a law level in the universe, okay? We're here to share that. Now, so I want you to begin to dive into your own definition of soulmates and know that it's okay if you see maybe there's three types of soulmates. Share that perspective. We're here to learn from one another. Now, from my experience as a psychic medium and reading individuals all over the world, both men and women alike, and from all different age ranges and different cultures, I found that there are mainly two different types of soulmates, okay? Both super significant. So I'm going to break down these two different types of soulmates and then also give you the insight into how you meet them, why you meet them, and what to do with them. I'm going to go over the similarities of the two types, and then I'm going to conclude this video with some tips for your relationship success and harmony. Okay. So the first type of soulmate I want to talk about are karmic soulmates. So this is super common. Everybody's like, oh yeah, this is my karmic soulmate. We just know. Now, when I first got into spirituality, I was super turned off on the word karma because I just wanted complete religious sovereignty with my own spiritual practice and how I teach. Mainly because I teach people from all different religions that are awakening to a higher truth. So esoteric knowledge is separate from religion. It is a higher point of consciousness than mesoteric religion. Okay. So where we use religion to go higher with our personal relationship with spirit. We take the faith, the compassion, the forgiveness and healing we learn from religions and we go higher in our own personal walk. So if you're meeting me, this is probably where you are in spiritual development and ascending even higher. So the word karma is very religious, okay? We hear of it in the East very often. We don't really talk about it in the West as much in our religion. So karma, I think, is known as usually like you're getting punished. You're getting what you give out, okay? Like law of attraction. But we have to understand that karma is not punishment. And the law of attraction doesn't always work. I want to break that down too. Often we attract opposites. We attract like attracts like, but also opposites attract. Now, if you're in a higher level of intelligence and empathic ability at the higher levels, like third or fourth level empaths, we, by research, what I've learned is attract narcissists and sociopaths. Not because we are, because of our light. We're attracting the polar opposite because of our high vibration. Okay. So that's not necessary. So law of attraction isn't necessarily why you've attracted a karmic soulmate? I'm going to break that down for you. So we have the karmic soulmates, which I want you to start thinking of karma as a lesson. It's a key to a higher truth. It's a path of enlightenment. It's a path of evolution. Okay. And think of Earth as a classroom. So we actually come to Earth to learn lessons. So karmic soulmates are extremely important for us to understand. We also have another type of soulmate. This is rare. This is where there's like a small handful of these individuals in your life contract, which is your predestined contract with Earth before you sign on. You sign on to this contract with your guides and angels. Your guides and angels, their whole purpose is to keep you on track with what you've come here to do. And it is on time. Not many readers can tap into it. You do have to have an anointing to be able to read someone's life contract with accuracy. And it does align with the stars. So somehow, some way, I can read a client and give a life contract reading, and it should match their astrology without me having any recollection of it, because you're tapped into what is called destiny charted future. There is free will future and there's a destiny charted future. It's not linear. And we are actively creating our realities based off the current resonance. Okay. So you have a large portion of karmic soulmates, and you have a very small percent of what I call work contract soulmates. Another way to look at them would be called maybe like a companion soulmate or a mission soulmate. Okay. Both types are important to your life and development. And both types can be romantic. It's a smaller percent of your soulmates that actually is compatible for romance. And this is the question everybody wants to know regarding their relationships. Is he the one? Is she the one? Can I have romance with this person? Mainly because we come to Earth to love. It's part of our universal truth and one of the only constants in the universe. It's one of the highest truths, one of the most powerful healing frequencies we can embody, and we love it. We love love, no matter where you're from. Okay. If you take colonization out of, let's say, a tribe that's remote, there's still implications of loving and caring for one another, regardless of religion. So love is super important. So think of all of your relationships that are meaningful to you as soulmates. We turn off from the word soulmate because it kind of feels woo woo or like warm and soft. So a lot of men just say, oh, that's not my soulmate. But it is, okay? Your boss, your friends, your family, your relationship with your neighbor who you always are talking to and growing with over the past decades, okay? There are a lot of soulmates that you meet throughout your life that don't necessarily have to be romantic. Now, there's an umbrella term that can cover relationships that are karmic and work partnerships. This would be your soul tribe. This is an even smaller percent of your soulmates. Soul tribe comes along after you've awakened. Soul tribe comes along after you've found a sense of wholeness and completion within yourself. Some people never reach that development and never reach their soul tribe. Okay. It's a very small percent. Now, in soul tribe, these can be teachers, this can be family members, this can be romantic partnership. Okay. These are individuals who are from, you could say, almost like the same soul race as you. Okay, there's many different races of beings in the universe. There's many different universes. This is being defined in quantum physics as the multi-universe. Okay, so soul tribe is like your same soul race. It's less common and it can be also karmic. Okay, soul tribe are people that you notice like every time you get with your teacher, you guys are both nose to the grind about a certain mission. Every time you get with your cousin, you're talking about esoteric knowledge and how you're breaking generational curses within the bloodline and going higher. Every time you meet with the soul tribe that you end up marrying, it's like when you guys really get into deep conversations, it's like you are on a mission together. You're here and you're determined, in a sense, to complete this mission together. Those are soul tribe members, and you just know in your soul, like this person is like so familiar. It can be karmic, yes, but it's like we're on the same team. We are here to really accomplish this, to end the poverty, to end the suffering, to end the injustices. We're here to help evolve consciousness. We're here to work in the medical field together, the legal system, whatever it may be. Now, all soulmates are predestined. They're predestined contracts and what I call sacred agreements, okay? That both souls choose to incarnate with for specific purposes and at specific time. So, what are the two soulmate types broken down further? Why do we have them and how do we meet them? So, the most common, let's start with karmic soulmates. Okay, so let's make this original in my teaching versus mainstream. Let's think of our karmic soulmates as lessons of advancement. This is a soulmate that you meet at divine timing to advance higher with through lessons, challenges, tests, obstacles, confrontation. There's a pressure when you meet your karmic soulmates. So that's why the universe will bring you two together like magnets. It's very magnetic, your karmic soulmates. It's like right on time. Do you ever start thinking about your soul's purpose? If you ever start thinking about something you want to attract, do you notice how the universe just brings those people to you that are in alignment with what you've been thinking about, your purpose? Okay. That's how it works. The universe is truly here to support us, truly here to help support us in love. So you will magnetize your karmic soulmates at divine time, and this is charted and destiny. So you can check your astrology for North Node connection or South Node connection. Whenever you meet a soulmate, there's usually most commonly South Node connection. You find this out through your natal chart, which is the snapshot of the sky the moment you took your first breath at that location. It gives you your sun, moon, and rising sign. Your rising sign is your avatar in the simulation. So whatever you are rising is what the world sees you at. Your sun sign is your puppeteer. Who is running the puppet? Okay, and your moon sign has a lot to do with, let's say, home, resources, um, maternal energy, while sun sign has a lot to do with paternal energy. Okay, so when you meet someone, you can take your chart and their chart and overlap them, and you'll see where you have South Node connection and North Node connection. South Node connection is signifying that there's past life influence. So with karmic soulmates, it's a lot about unfinished business. Okay, so if you think about you have a marriage and you guys are just so toxic, you're so wounded, but you're immature. So you're not able to fully emotionally bring peace to the relationship to the point where there's abuse. You end up in the courts. Okay, the hatred will not go. Maybe you'll let go of the hatred at 10 years later and you find peace, and this is your child's father or mother, and you're cordial, okay, but you still hate them deep down. You still kind of resent them. You can guarantee you're going to see them in another life where those same sticky, toxic wounds will be opened up at divine time when you're ready to give you a chance to resolve them and move forward. So laws of the universe would be resonance and vibration. Everything is moving. Everything is vibrating, whether it looks solid or not. It is vibrating. So that's the natural nature of the universe is movement. We like to hold on to soulmates that are not going to change with you. And we end up blocking our money, our health, our resources, our opportunities, doors closed because we're holding on to something that's not in alignment with us. We're going against the universe by staying in these toxic relationships, not choosing love, not choosing to evolve, not choosing to look at the lessons and the spiritual agreement that you've come here to do with this person. It won't work. A relationship will flow when the dynamic of two people are open and there's compatibility and willingness to grow and evolve. If not, it will never work. Okay. So we don't want to hold on to those soulmates because you'll block your blessings. Nothing will work out. Everything is siphoned. Every time you take a step forward, then you're going 10 back. Every time you get a big paycheck, then it's all gone the next day. These are your cords. Your relationships and your money go hand in hand. It's the second chakra, your sacral chakra. So your creativity, your expression, and relationship energy is held there in the womb space. And for men, it's still a womb space, even if you don't have a physical womb. And ladies that have had like hysterectomies, you still have a womb chakra. Okay. So you meet your karmic soulmates based on your current resonance. Your resonance is your frequency that you are emitting. So your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your health, your state, okay, the food you're eating is your resonance, and that's what attracts you to your karmic soulmate. So if you think of like an old school clock, where it's like the one part is mechanical and it moves to another part, and then that part moves and it's mechanical, and it just goes in this like continual circle of like one thing leads to the next, that leads to the next, and it's like an effect, okay? So you can have something that's destiny charted with a specific type of soulmate, but because you made a choice, your free will does dictate your soulmates and your destiny. So you can have a relationship with someone that's like very much so type A, and based on a choice, you could not meet that person, but you meet with someone else that's type A. And a very similar story plays out with very similar frequencies. So just like that mechanical clock, it's like every choice, every resonance is what is literally attracting you to your soulmates. And there's many different timelines. It's like you think that this is just the person for you, but there's someone else that's so much like so similar in a whole nother timeline. Okay. And it's up to you which ones you attract. When you start thinking and emoting from a place of purpose, the universe will magnetize towards you the people you need in order to complete that purpose. So, a lot of times, our karmic soulmates come in as a distraction. We will have to resolve wounds and lessons before we get to the next level. So, you can't level jump in life. You have to actually accomplish what you're meant to accomplish on time. So, that grade in grade school, you took the test, you passed, and you go on to the next level. A lot of times we're trying to get to this next level of wealth, health, love, success, but we forget our soul's agreement. We forget the spiritual aspect of why we incarnate on earth, which we can't forget because laws of energy would say that everything is starting from a soul, from spirit, from energy. So your body doesn't have a spirit. Your soul has a body. Remember that. So work from the inward out for any type of manipulation you're doing in your life, whether it's healing or trying to get to the next level. Start with energy, and the physical is birthed from there. So your karmic soulmates will come in as a test, and a lot of them will. They'll test you. They'll test your patience. They'll test how, you're walking around saying that you're emotionally healed, and then this karmic soulmate comes through, and then you're triggered, you're angry, you're pissed off. And that's a good indicator that that person's coming through to give you the mirror effect. Okay. So mirroring happens with human nature. It is actually studied in psychology, but I go deeper here on this channel about the esoteric meaning of mirroring, especially when I talk about empathic intelligence. Okay. So the biggest mirrors can be the biggest healers. So me as an empath, I'm able to feel in my own body what other people are feeling in theirs, like a mirror. And a lot of times we have trouble with this ability. It can get very toxic. You can have a lot of health issues if you don't have your empathic mirror in check. And when it relates to relationships, you want to look in the mirror, your soulmate, to see yourself. So the next time you point fingers at the soulmate, your partner, saying, look at him, he's doing X, Y, and Z, look at him. Remember, there's three fingers pointing back at you because the world in the universe works like a mirror. And your subconscious mind is what's producing your reality. So your subconscious mind is an indicator of what you're attracting. So when you look at your partner, you'll see your own wounds, your own truths through them. Okay. So you begin to win within your relationships when you realize the lessons and you choose maturity, okay? I would say that maturity is what is most needed for relationships to succeed, regardless of what type of soulmate you have, okay? If you can choose to be emotionally mature in your relationship, you can get ahead if both people can. If you can intellectually be mature, if you can physically be mature, if you can embody all of your different energy bodies in a level of maturity and love, you can have a relationship work. So you begin to win in these karmic relationships when you say, I can choose how to respond. I choose to respond this way. Because a lot of times with karmic soulmates is you'll meet at a certain resonance and one will begin to advance in their own development spiritually, mentally, physically. They're taking care of themselves and their partner is not. So you'll grow out of alignment very quickly. And we tend to want to hold on to these soulmates very closely when it's not meant to be. If both parties in the relationship are not committed to evolution, it simply will not work. And karmic soulmates then turn very, very negative. There's chaos, there's trauma, there's destruction. You're not in your creator element anymore. You're in your destroyer. So it's kind of just like when you think of like God and Satan, it's like there's this embodiment within every person that you choose to express. And we may not want to admit that, but how many times have you destroyed something? How many times have you spoken out of anger and hatred and had a negative consequence from it? So, second chakra, your creation chakra, are both parties rooted in creating in love or destruction? So once you're in this karmic relationship and you notice that your partner, he's just not able to grow emotionally. He's just stuck in childhood development. They call it Peter Pan syndrome. He's frozen in time. That's my symbol when I read people. They're stuck in a timeline. They're not able to finally let go of the trauma and process it. They've made their identity their trauma. So once you're in this relationship and you see it that way, you're just seeing it for what it is, and you can choose love for you. You can say, I'm going to choose how I respond. This person's just not getting it. I love them. No matter how hard this is, I am going to go higher. I am going to walk away because I do believe that my intimate relationship, we're talking about romance now, people, should be in harmony, should be in flow. Now, let's say it's a parent that you're a karmic relationship with. Sometimes space is good. A lot of times, no contact is healthy. If both people are not willing to forgive, to let go, to evolve, it will not work. So you have a choice to make with your karmic soulmates. And you really have to be reflective of yourself and also taking notes of their actions. Are they showing up in a way that's of equal resonance to you? If not, it's a pull and tug, and you're going to block your blessings. So the healthiest option sometimes is to walk away from karmic soulmates. Once the lessons are learned, and you don't need the other person to get the lesson. That's the best part about life is like, thank you for the lessons you've taught me, but you're no longer going to cause pain in my space, and I release you. You're not willing to grow. This is not in alignment with the universe anymore. My blessings are being blocked. I choose love for me and love for you. Because every time I'm in this relationship, either partner, parent, friend, I'm going in on you and I don't like who I am and I'm losing my character here. Okay. That's because usually one soulmate is not willing to do the work needed. And these are ones you don't want near. You don't want to keep that near because it'll always be like a weight. How are you going to swim if you've got all these weights on you in the ocean? You're going to sink. It's predictable. Okay. So kin, your family are usually karmic. And I want to explain why. If you think about it, why would you incarnate with a bunch of people from your own, let's say, spiritual race if you're here to grow and evolve? If we're here to learn, why would you incarnate with the same race? Now, I want to take a time back to step back because we're saying like in physical reality, usually a lot of times people date within their own race. What do you mean, JoJo? You can still learn and grow with the same race. You can, absolutely. But we are looking at more of the energetics behind why are there so many karmic soulmates? Why are our friends and family like, why is this just so hard? It's because every race of beings, like every soul tribe, is here to like do specific accomplishments. And it's a every part makes a whole. So the people that we're born into families with, we're here to teach one another. Your children that you have are usually your greatest teachers. Many parents would say that. Your aunts, your uncles, your friendships, your partner teach you through differences, through polarity. Okay, everybody's good at one thing, and we come together in our diversity to coexist. That seems to be an underlying lesson on Earth. Evolution is continual, and coexisting is 1000% necessary. We aren't supposed to shrink ourselves. We aren't supposed to limit ourselves. We're not supposed to just conform. We're here to celebrate individuality, authenticity together. So, there's a lot of talk about like when you choose your one, don't choose somebody that's like different religion, different politics, but like, is that really emotional maturity? It's not. You should be able to have conflict resolution and find peace. And that's exactly why this person is showing up at this time because you're here to understand that so you can go higher. Okay. So, our karmic soulmates are extremely significant in our life. And so you'll also begin to see numerology when this person is in your life. Like you'll start to see your birth date really common. You'll start to, the universe will speak through numerology, like your favorite number, your birth date, the number two, the number four, the number three. A lot of these numbers are going to come up in your reality. You'll see them on the clock and the phone, over and over license plates, giving you that message from the universe, like you're meeting a soulmate. This is a significant player in your life contract. Learn the lesson. So karmic soulmates feel very familiar. And that's because of past life influence that you're here to advance together and finally move forward. And so it's unexplainable, this knowing of this person. It's like when you guys got together, it's just so familiar. And often, once you guys learn the lessons together, you also are able to kind of grow out of alignment. Like, thank you for being my partner for the past 9 years. I've learned so much from you. And it's just, we're not compatible. We've been sleeping together for 9 years, but we're not compatible in the day to day. And finally, 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 after 9 years, we can come to a place of harmony between us and say, look, you aren't my husband, but I love and respect you. Thank you for being a companion for all this time at those moments. But we are not meant to be in a marriage. And once you both come to that ground, because usually it's like we want each other, we want to hold each other, and you go 9 years with no proposal, none, because it's not meant to be a marriage. But when you finally come to that agreement, all of a sudden, a new soulmate will appear. All of a sudden, this person just kind of falls off. You guys no longer talk. It's done. That's healthy. That's healthy to finally say thank you and I'm moving on. Okay. So your respect for this person is usually challenged. That's a good indicator that this is a karmic soulmate. It's a test of your human nature. Can you forgive? Can you let go? Can you give this person grace? So you're seeing yourself in your opposite. The polarity helps you to remember that there's one source. It's a one source reminder, karmic soulmates. Okay, so that I'm looking at my boyfriend and he's really me in another reality. I'm looking at my husband and he's really me. I'm looking at my mother and she's really me in another life. It's like we're all one source. And your karmic soulmates really will remind you of that. They'll also show you your next step. Okay, so we channel for one another. Spirit will speak through your closest people. So the angels will come in and put it through me, and I'll say it to my boyfriend, the message he needed to hear at that exact time. Okay, so get on the phone with mom. She speaks to me, the angels speak through her like a channel, the exact message I needed to hear at that divine time. So your karmic soulmates will show you your next step. You begin to meet these person during usually life transitions. You've just learned the lesson. Now it's time for another lesson. New level, new devil. Okay? And here comes your next boyfriend. That's how it works. That is how it works. And this is written in the stars. So you might move, you might switch jobs, have a whole different career change, you might have a child, you might um, do something drastic with the way you look. I mean, there's a huge life transition. You go to start going to school again, start studying again. These huge life transitions trigger, like that clock, you meeting your karmic soulmates. Okay. Now, here's what everybody wants to know. Can you marry this person? Yes, you can. And most often people do. And I will claim, I get a lot of heat for this. I think this is why there's so much relationship crisis on the planet. I think that a lot of people are choosing to have children and mate with karmic soulmates, and it ends up like a turbulent ride. It is not smooth sailing, okay? It's turbulent the entire time to the point of where you tried, and there's not maturity enough there to coexist. So maybe in another lifetime, and you have a different mindset, through the different experiences you get in another incarnation, might be a better timeline for you to resolve that wound with that person. So we need to start educating children on sacred agreements and soulmates. You need to start looking to the stars. You need to start going within, sitting with your relationship guide, your work and money guide, your angels, your higher mind, source about your relationships. And you want to say things like, Spirit, show me what the purpose is between us. What do I need to know about this relationship? You need to be asking yourself, your soul, is he the one? Is she the one? Versus me. Okay. And you have that access. Don't let anybody take that power from you. And definitely don't go ask the tarot readers on YouTube. Okay. Because I'm going to tell you what they're going to tell you. They're going to say, that's the twin flame. There he is. Sign up. And you just signed on to a relationship that leads to your biggest illness. You have to be incredibly, incredibly careful with what you sign and fine print in the physical reality, because there's always a hidden frequency, a reaction, or consequence. Okay. And a lot of times we get married and end up very ill the next day or the next month. We sign a contract, we get married, and we go bankrupt. It's karmic. It's a lesson. You're not really supposed to be marrying this person. Okay. We all need to become more discerning of this so that we can limit the suffering and pain that we're feeling. So many people are feeling pain and suffering from relationships, and big one from parental wounds. So we need to be more conscientious of the people we are mating with. Now, there's this big whole white supremacist movement, the far right in America, to push getting married at 18 and 15 and like having all these kids. And it's just like, this is why we're all disconnected. This is why we're all suffering, is because we are really going along with man's laws versus spirit's laws. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It goes against human nature to be with someone when you don't even know yourself. It's just chaos, and it's going to affect the kids probably for the rest of their lives. So this is an important, important message. Be conscious in your relationships. Put spirit first, okay? And then you'll know exactly what to do. So a lot of the karmic soulmates, you'll know they have like joint custody. Okay. This is a karmic soulmate. You were never really supposed to be bunkering down with this person. Call it destiny. It is. But there's another destiny that would have been more along your soul's mission. And many people never get there. I'm sorry, because of the church doesn't teach stuff like this, lessons like this. And people are marrying in high numbers their karmic soulmates, and it's a complete and utter disaster. Okay, so it takes a tribe to raise a child. That's what we need to focus on, that spiritual principle and truth. It takes a tribe. It does take masculine and feminine energy, whether you're straight or not. There is that aspect of duality that it takes to raise a human. Okay, So your success comes from maturity of the mind and soul, and you have to always choose love versus fear for flow. So make that choice and say, is it time to let this go? Are you choosing love or are you choosing fear? A lot of times we're choosing ego, fear. I want to hold, I want to control, I don't want to let go of this person. I don't want to set the healthy boundaries that I need to set. I want this to be my way. That's fear. And you're going to make things very hard for yourself. A lot of times when we choose that fear, I need to control, I don't want to let go, I want to be with this person forever, 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 we become obsessed because we aren't focused on purpose. Okay. And it becomes very traumatic, destabilizing, and you go backwards in growth. So usually when there's a toxic relationship, it's very clear. And with these karmic relationships, you're supposed to take the chaos energy and build from it. So if you've ever heard like dark energy is a catalyst, that's your choice to use it that way or to let it consume you. So when you go through, let's say, a breakup that's hard or a health challenge or the death of a loved one, it's chaos, darkness, it's grief. But the ones that excel and go higher are the ones that alchemize the darkness. It's called black magic, or not an intentional sending of darkness to people or pain or harm, but it is technically a form of black magic. It's called chaos magic. I use it. You'd be wise to. You must, because you're going to face challenges and darkness in life and you don't want it to consume you. You say, oh, if this happens, I'm going to go run and hide and be sad for the rest of my life. You have a choice, but the wise one doesn't have a choice. The wise one says, I'm going to process this pain and I'm going to go higher. Okay. So a lot of times our karmic soulmates can be very addicting and obsessive. Let's get into the good stuff here. The first one is good. It's super significant. And again, many people choose to marry this person and it can work. Now, work partnership soulmates are different. This is very few. You might call these companion soulmates or mission-oriented soulmates, whatever you want. Now, these are most always umbrellas under Soul Tribe, okay? You work very well together. So whenever I have a client in front of me, I'm looking at, do they work well together? Could they start a business together? Could they be together on the day-to-day in harmony? These are people that are good potential to marry. I'm going to break down in a second all of the similarities between the two, because often we see all the synchronicities and think he's the one, and he's not. You'll have synchronicities with both types of soulmates. You have synchronicities with all of your soulmates, all of them. Doesn't mean he's the one or compatible. So compatibility is key for the type of soulmate that you choose to marry, the person. Are you compatible on the day to day? If yes, there's good chances you can have flow. Now, with work partnerships, there is sometimes challenges. That's life, okay? But it's more of like these tests of faith, love, trust, and embodiment of purpose, endurance, wisdom, patience, and wisdom gathering. You have definite North Node connection with this person. So when you check the stars, you'll see that there is actual work to do together in this life, and it must be accomplished. So we meet these individuals if the person is very much so on track with what they've come here to do, period. A lot of times, really mission-oriented individuals never really are meant to get married. Um, they'll have very strong romantic relationships, but you'll see very highly intelligent, highly conscious individuals are very much so individual. Okay, they're very independent. But here's the truth. We are interdependent creatures by nature. We need one another. So understand that you might have a contract that's focused more on work than actual romance. And that's okay too. You have to start getting into the understanding of unorthodox relationships and seeing like what actually works for you. Are you nomadic? Maybe you're empathic too. So maybe for you and your partner, the best thing to do is have separate homes, but still in union, separate bedrooms, but still in union. We often don't let ourselves be in our truth because society says to be a certain way, and it just doesn't work for all people. So with your North Node connection, your work partnership soulmates, it's like we're on the same page here. And it is nose to the grind, mission oriented. So these are the ones you want to have sacred union with. These are the ones. Your marriage contract, okay? Think of sound healing, how we want harmony with sound. Okay, so I always talk about how the higher oscillation entrains the lower vibration. If you were to see two people in a sacred union that are destined and work partnership soulmates, they give a sound. They give a frequency, an aura of harmony, of peace, of coexisting. They could be totally opposite in mindsets. And together they come together and it's harmony, it's peace, it's love, it's joy. There's a sound, it's a song that is harmonic. Okay. And we don't really see that ever. We don't see that in today's world on TV. We don't see it at home. And we don't even know it can exist. So this is a crucial time on the planet for us to educate ourselves with videos like this so that we can begin to create those type of agreements with people and enjoy love, enjoy romance. I think also as a collective, we don't have enough sex. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. We aren't having enough sex. And then when we are having sex, it's rooted in destroyer energy, not creator energy. It's rooted in fear, control, and greed, and not love, harmony, and respect. So even in the CIA, they tell their officers to have sex daily. It is so powerful for your brain. It is healing. It is an act of creation. You can use sex for manifestation. Okay, to manifest wealth. Remember, those two chakras go hand in hand. Usually you're sexually off balance, your money's off balance, period. You cannot forget this. If we start to have more intimacy in our relationships, there will be a better world. Right now, we have tainted and distorted our sexual energy. And where we are in the collective, again, we're trying to rewrite us back to a place of peace and harmony. So we need to start thinking about people that we're truly compatible with and that we can have intimacy with. So work partnerships, soulmates complement one another. Okay, there's a lot of positive flows, a lot of doors opening, and a lot of success together. If you to think of like those extreme games where people are on a team and they have to go over like the pit on a rope and then they got to rock climb and then they got to go underneath in the mud and like crawl underneath the like the escape games or whatever. And you've got your partner. It's like two twins. They're just passing the baton to each other and they're getting through life, like getting through the tornadoes together. They're getting through the hurricanes. They're getting through the obstacles together and passing the baton to one another. There's a flow. So I didn't say it's not hard, didn't say it's not challenging, but they pass the baton to each other like an Olympic athlete with precision. Okay. Twin flames are not real. Um, it is a guise that like you wait for your twin flame so you can give your power away and be complete with another person. It's just not true. It's not true. You need to be complete within yourself before you really even meet that destined work partnership. That's why some people never do. Not in this life. Okay? They never do. And all of the relationships are very painful and traumatic. So you and your work partnership are going up a ladder together, passing the batons, and often share accomplishments. So you think of like how many people do you know that they're married and they have a publication together? Very rare, very rare. But that would be like a work partnership contract, okay? Um, it's on time and it is about order. It's divine order and it happens when life's in balance. Karmic soulmates usually happen when there's a trauma. It's a trauma bond that brings two together. So with your work partnership, it's like a dream come true. Okay, now you can be in a traumatic situation and meet this person. For example, let's say there's two lawyers or journalists that are falsely accused and brought into jail together, and they meet in jail. And from that moment forward, they are activists together. So they met in trauma, but it's not a trauma bond. It's actually on time and divine order. So you have to be very discerning. Nothing is very linear in spiritual concepts. So it's a huge paradox, actually. Well, the more you can rise in intelligence, okay? So there is a strong romantic chemistry. Your elements go very well together, and you naturally want to have the act of creation with this person. You want to procreate. You want to, whether it's literal children or a business or art or what have you, volunteering, even just creating travel vlogs. I mean, you want to create with this person. It's so natural for you to want that. Okay. And I think a lot of times these days people don't want to have children because of the cost of living and the karma turmoil we see within relationships. But I want to remind you to get back to your human nature. You're biologically wired to reproduce. Doesn't mean that everybody does or wants to or should. I'm not saying that. Let's just look at it like the act of love or the act of creation is essential for relationship harmony. What will you two create together? And so you meet after a level of fulfillment has been attained. And not everybody meets this person because meeting your work partnership soulmate, shedding is required. You've got to cut those cords from all of your exes before you can reap the harmony of your next marriage, period. There doesn't need to be the lingering of old toxicity in your present field because it blocks and distorts truth, your perception, your discernment, and your harmony, your flow. So that's why people don't meet this person, or if they do, because of free will, they can't actually like move forward in relationships. This person's stuck on an ex. They're stuck on a trauma. They're stuck in the past. Okay. All of the things they failed or guilty about, that is in the way of the new beginnings. Okay, so you don't attract this partner, you align through resonance. You have union with yourself first. And remember, chemistry does not mean compatibility. So let's go ahead and break down all of the similarities between the two different contracts. Number one, both feel very familiar as if right when you meet this person, oh my God, I just feel right at home. Like, I know I just met you, but like, I love you. Like, don't want to get into love bombing, but it's just so familiar. It's like you're picking up on something that's not really a new beginning, and it's like there's history. Okay, so both can feel like that. Both can also have a lot of synchronicities, like crazy. And I hear this over and over again. People, clients that are just with the wrong person or trying to hope, wish, and pray or chase some dude that's like not the one. And she's like, oh my God, we worked at the same job. Oh my God, we both sold massagers. Oh my God, we both yada, yada, yada. And he saw this number and I saw this number. And he saw that and I saw that. And it's just like, that's a soulmate. It doesn't mean he's the one or somebody you should be hopping in the sack with. Okay. You also will have telepathy with this person, both karmic and work partnership. So it's the joining of fields. Remember that in the higher dimensions, there's no time and space between us. So this is why you keep your intimate relationship very sacred and you don't just open yourself to just anybody because it is the joint of fields. Okay. So thoughts do overlap as well as dreams, passions, interests, and hobbies. Both can be soul tribe and both arrive when you're open and ready. Both can be activations and initiations of truth. You have to remember that free will still exists, so it does determine where it goes and who you meet. And you can also have soulmates that you meet in dreams, visions, alternate realities, and timelines. They can also be guides, so you're never even meeting them in physical carnation. And all soulmates, of course, are mirrors. I'm going to wrap this up. Hope this has been helpful. Please like, subscribe, drop a comment on your thoughts. I'm going to give you some tips though to help with harmony in relationships because I think we all deserve it. I think we deserve one another and we really need to switch from being dependent on relationships. I completely, my man just takes care of me. He gives me all my money, he pays all my bills, and I'm so dependent on this man, right? We need to switch out of that, which is very common into interdependence with one another. So I bring to the table, he brings to the table. I massage here, he massages there, okay? He's good with the money, I'm good with the art. Whatever it is, there needs to be individuality and interdependence. So you think of it like positive ownership. When I get this new Land Rover, it is mine. I love this car. I'm keeping it clean on the inside. I'm making sure the oil changes are good. I'm wiping it down. I have my incense in there. You know, I own it. I'm taking positive ownership and I'm caring for it. If we look at our relationships like this, it flows. I get into this relationship, I'm looking at you as if you're my own. Like, I want to make sure you're good. I like to cook. I want to make sure you're fed. I can do this. I want to make sure I can do that for you. When you hurt, I hurt. Okay. I don't want to see you in pain because I feel pain. And when we're suffering, we always want to go towards the solution to end the suffering. And a lot of times, interdependent relationships are the key. So we're not really supposed to be alone as a species. We're actually supposed to be with one another. And we have to keep these messages going so people know that there is hope for harmony in our relationships. We do not see it on Earth right now. It's a crisis. We have to admit that. And it'll be up to us to start holding out marriage and holding out sex with people that are just not in alignment or compatible with us. We're supposed to be learning about money resolution, money issues resolutions with this person. We're supposed to be learning how to love deeper with this person. We're supposed to be learning how to coexist with someone that thinks different than us with this person, not getting in the sack, mating, or getting married, right? Make your decisions within the relationships if you want to stay or go when you're feeling well, not on bad days or not when you're flaky or hot and cold. A lot of times we're just making decisions based on emotions. We're just reactive. Don't make any decisions about your relationship, huge changes until you're well, okay? Be prepared for conflict resolution. If you're immature and you cannot work through conflict resolution, it means you're not ready for an intimate partnership. We're talking about marriage, boyfriend, girlfriend, 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 boyfriend, boyfriend, whatever your orientation is. Period. Okay? You have to be prepared to give forgiveness. You have to be prepared to give grace because the person is going to make mistakes. We have this false hope of let's be an independent women only group, women world, and rock the world, and let's be empowered. And it's like, that's great, but a lot of it is an illusion. We have to be prepared to go into relationships that are not perfect. Okay. Things are not perfect here. It's perfect imperfect. It's perfect in paradox. That makes us human. We have the light and the dark aspect of us. That even gets broken down further into like literal war of like light and dark, high and low. There is a war. Without it, we transcend higher to unity, but that we lose our humanness. Am I speaking to anybody? Let me know in the comments here if you're still here. So you have to understand how to have conflict resolution, both parties. And you need to have something in place, like a plan, when to hold each other accountable. You keep cussing me out every time you get drunk. What's going to happen if you keep doing this? I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave. And that's healthy. There needs to be accountability. You need to be able to work things out with the people you love, not just cut them off. Okay. You don't just cut them off for the rest. And sometimes it's time to take a 3-year break because when you are in, I call it sacred isolation, is an initiation. It is necessary at times, so you don't have to have anyone else thinking for you. No one else's consciousness is thinking for you. You've learned to develop the understanding of your own consciousness and your own mind. This is me speaking. I like to have soup. I like ice cream. I like my baths. I like to sit outside and do nothing. I know me. So once you have that understanding of who you are, then it makes you more compatible for a relationship. And in the moments of isolation, you find who you are. So with a lot of our soulmates, it is okay and it is healthy to take 1 to 5 year breaks and then come back together. And it's like you never even were separated. Okay. It's very common. Check the stars in your life contract. I already mentioned, not some tarot card reader on YouTube that's going to say this is your twin flame. No. Remember, your first soulmate is you, dear one. Your first soulmate is you. So if you abandon or disown yourself to keep someone, you will never keep them. Soul aligned love happens when you choose to love yourself first, when you have a sense of wholeness within you. I already mentioned making the switch from dependency in relationships to interdependence. So it's like you don't need to be texting somebody every single second. You don't need to be having somebody hold your hand all the way to here to the grocery store. I mean, we need to learn how to think for ourselves and be independent. So that's a huge one. You need to heal your inner child before you can get into to solid marriage or union, okay? Regulate your nervous system before you go and relate to people, because if not, if your nervous system's in survival mode, you will choose survival love. That's law of attraction. So work inward to go outward, become whole and attract a whole person. Remember that a calm body equals clear discernment. And here's a tip for you to pray for clarity, not attachment. So this would be switching from a mindset and prayer like, Dear God, please let this work. Spirit, why me, why me, why me? Joyce Myers used to always say that. Please let this work, God. Please let it work. You're begging, you're pleading, you're negotiating. So let's switch to Holy Spirit. Remove from me what isn't aligned with me. Spirit, remove what isn't working, what is not in alignment with my highest good. Do you see how that's a maturity? And it's true love. A lot of times we don't even love truly our people that we're in the bed with. And it's like you mate with this person, it's like you don't even really love this person because love can walk away if it's not in alignment. Love does choose harmony over chaos. Okay. So when you really love, you do let go. You do at times. This person is just causing so much pain. They're stuck in the inner child. They're not able to have conflict resolution. They're not taking care of themselves. They're not loving themselves. It will not work. And you, by law of the universe, are not meant to just hold or coddle this person. That's where we're confused. The good teacher, the good shepherd doesn't take tests for their student, okay? So chemistry is not compatibility. Understand that butterflies in your stomach could be anxiety or your gut feeling telling you that this person is triggering a wound within you. Every time I get around a man, I'm nervous. Triggering a wound that I have with my father or other men that says, I feel unsafe around men. There goes my timer. It means I've got to wrap this up, which I am almost done. So I'll finish here. Butterflies could be anxiety and a warning. And we're saying, oh my God, I got the butterflies. He's the one. No. And now here's a big one too. Peace in true love can feel unfamiliar. I've noticed a lot of men, especially that put their emotions on a shelf, they will reject love. They will, a woman will give him love and he can't even hold it. Okay, because it feels so unfamiliar. It doesn't feel safe. The healthiness, because they've never experienced it. So you have to be on the lookout for that. Is this person like, am I rejecting them because this is actually like real love? It's peace, it's harmony. Yeah, you have to make a choice. Choose love. Spiritual intimacy is real. So joining fields is something you need to be cognizant of. Sex, emotional bonding, and constant texting creates energy cords. So be intentional of who has access to your nervous system. Communication is key in relationship success. You need to stop performing and trying to fix or change people. They're either ready or they're not. period. You'll spend 9 years in this relationship thinking this guy's gonna change. He's not gonna grow up for another 15, 30 years before he actually taps into his wisdom, before he actually gets the mental health he needs, before he actually learns how to manage his emotions. He learns it in his 70s, and you're 25 years old wanting to sit around thinking that this is the one because you have chemistry or synchronicities. Stop it. Just stop it. Okay. So in communication, you have to understand how to say, these are my needs within a relationship. I need this from a man. I need to be heard. I need to feel received. I need you to support my business. I need you when I go on the show for you to be in the audience rooting for me. I need my alone time, but I also need a lot of time with you. I'm not a big texter, so I don't want to text all the time. I need date night once a week. I need us to go on vacation together once a year. Whatever your needs are, you need to express that both parties in the relationships. You also need to go over your needs and your wants, your desires. I like and I feel loved through physical touch. I like and I feel loved through gift giving, whatever that may be. Know your love language and express it and see if this person can meet you. Okay? In the way your needs must get met and the desires and wants, need to get met too. Of course, as long as it's rooted in love, you're not being like, I want to dominate the world. I mean, like, I want someone that is going to hold my hand. I want someone that's going to laugh with me. Okay. So learn the difference between siphoning and harvesting energy versus love. What is love? That is how I'll end this. What is love? It's a lifelong journey as a human to find that out. Not all beings in the universe can emote or feel. Not all men, not all human have a feeling body. So love, let that be your lesson. Let it be your frequency. Let it be your compass for your choices and the direction you move in life. Okay. And I'm wishing the most love and fulfillment in all of your relationships to you and everyone watching. I hope this was helpful. And may you have the utmost love, pleasure, and joy in all of your relationships. Thank you so much.